Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
Very good morning and welcome to Newsline, live from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. On a much drier morning, I'm joined by my colleague, Abdullah Jaisekar.
Good morning, Shaukat.
Good morning, how are you?
Fine.
And we are also joined this morning by the DGM at the Sri Lanka Land Reclamation Board, Ms. A.H. Tushari. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning, Tushari, and thank you for being on our program.
Thank you for inviting us to explain the situation, what has happened last week.
Good, excellent.
Mention about
My colleague Bandula has a way of doing things, and he's got some breaking news to. It's just been broken, but some of you may not have heard it.
The particular program, but we go to Newsline.
But he's been kind enough to share his particular breaking news with us.
I think we have sent a news alert that the Defence Ministry has banned the Eastern Province Chief Minister Nazir Ahmed from entering any either Sri Lankan Air Force or any military camp. He's been banned from entering anywhere in the island. Plus, that he cannot, the military, the Air Force, the Navy or the Army will not take part in any event attended by Nazir Ahmed. This is after he insulted a senior Navy officer in Sampur.
I see. Good stern action for poor behavior.
Yes, that's true. And then some people say that's not enough, but some news reports said that he had apologized for us, but we feel that he should go on television and apologize to this senior Navy officer.
Who will give him airtime?
That's the problem.
Because nobody would want to be associated with such poor behavior.
Yeah, but also for us, a lot of people are discussing that the way the Navy officer behaved was very calm. He didn't get angry.
That's because they're well trained.
Yeah, but we are glad that the defense authorities have taken this action.
And we have the Defense Secretary issuing a statement saying that he can't take any action regarding the matter as it is connected to a politician. At least he's saying it the way it is. But it's good that
where is it?
Over here in the Daily Mirror.
So that
paper.
means, like you say, the politicians are above the law?
Well, the thing is that sometimes you have civil service officials who can't really do much because after all, they can't.
What should Rauf Hakim do? He's the leader of the SLMC, and then this is like a coalition partner.
Yes, he could do this to him. He can rap him on his knuckles. That's all. I doubt if Rauf will do that either, because it might end up in some terrible political tragedy for the SLMC.
Poor Rauf.
We'll leave them alone now. Thank you for that breaking news. It's good, but it's good action on the part of the Tri-Forces. Now, Shari, can you tell me, why have we had this flooding? Is it because there's too much of water?
Of course, too much of water,
yes,
but we want to clarify it whether it's from rainfall fallen to Colombo city.
Yeah.
Because first, if you give me a chance to explain about background of the stormwater drainage in Colombo.
Yeah.
So we called it as a catchment, so it's around 105 square kilometers of the area.
To catch the water.
And we have 44 kilometers length of canal system, with 5 outfalls, 3 outfalls to sea and 2 outfalls to Kalani. So and also the terrain of the topography of the Colombo city is almost flat.
Right.
So, and the canal system, it has a constant bed level. There's no steep slope in the canal system.
I see.
And we have 3 outfalls to sea and 2 outfalls to Kalani. So what has happened last week is we got rainfall to the Colombo area, as well as we got rainfall to the upper catchment of Kalani River.
Right.
So then what has happened, the Kalani flow was also very high, where our canals also got a very big flow from rainfall.
Okay, I'm into my numbers, so I wonder if you can tell me, as a matter of curiosity, how many thousands of liters of water do you think would have fallen on?
Yeah, if I say it, so we got within 2 days we got 320 millimeters depth of water into 105 square kilometers.
Right.
So if we multiply it, that's we can get a volume 100.
Right.
So that is the volume we got from rainfall to the Colombo
Just
city.
in 2 days.
Just in 2 days.
Now, ordinarily, how much of rainfall would you have in a month?
Annual months we can't say it like that,
Yeah.
because we
But
get
annually
normally
how
get
much?
about 2,500 to 3,000 millimeters.
Right. Okay.
Yes, annually, because we normally get rainfall
But that's
in 2 seasons.
that's over 12 months.
Over 12 months.
And in this case, you had.
Yeah, actually this has happened because the low pressure developed in the Indian Ocean,
Right.
and not because of the monsoons.
No.
So then what has happened when Kalani river water level went up,
Yeah.
so we have regulatory gates at the outfalls to Kalani.
Right.
So the irrigation department is maintaining all these gates. They have to close those gates.
Right.
So because to avoid backwater coming into the city from Kalani,
Right.
if we keep the gates open, the Kalani water will come into the city.
But
and
what's
also
the effect if they close it?
close it,
There won't be water
any.
here.
Yeah,
But
that's
what
true.
about the water out there?
There won't be any possibility to water to go out from these outfalls.
I see.
So we had to function
So is
only
that
with
a
3.
failure then on the part
Not
of somebody?
failure. That's a normal scenario we have.
Right.
So when what we have to do in engineering wise, what we can do is when the gates are closed, we can use pumping option.
Right.
So we can pump water over the gates to Kalani.
I see.
So we have to go for those options.
But Tushari, what about this illegal landfilling? Now, Preston has taken
that's also
stern
true.
action.
Yeah. So what we under the Metro Colombo urban development, the major component of its flood and drainage management. So we have done a comprehensive study of the stormwater drainage system in Colombo. So what we have identified is, because in 1992 also we improved this drainage system, but during last 30 to 20 years we have observed it means the increase in the rainfall intensities and also the volumes also because of the climate change.
Right.
So we should be ready to face for the bigger rainfall in near future. And so we have identified when we get rainfall, so the system has the capacity to drain out the water. Only the 30% of that rainfall can be drained out with the existing outfalls.
Right. So now you say that with climate change and so on, it's fair to say that you expect the same thing maybe next year. So do you all have enough funds to increase the drainage system to ensure?
Yes, we have under Metro Colombo. So we are going to improve the system.
Are these funds promised, or is it promised and available for action?
It's available because Metro Colombo is an ongoing project.
Yeah.
So
the
we
loans
have
are already in place?
in place, and
Where are the loans coming from?
World Bank.
From the World Bank.
From the World Bank.
So when do you all hope to start some of these projects?
So it's ongoing projects.
Oh,
so
right.
some of those, what we have discussed about some of the pumping stations, the main outfall is to Kalani, is at the Nagalagam Street.
Right.
So the tenders are on for the construction
have called
of
for
the
tenders now.
Yes.
But
yes.
coming back again to the landfill,
Yeah,
for us,
that's-
what happens is, okay, you try to do a job,
Yeah.
but there's political interference.
That's true.
MPs will try to get votes and, go and settle them. How would you handle that?
Actually, so normally to get the clearance, official clearance to develop a low line, so there's a committee comprising of land reclamation, UDA, agrarian services, and the division secretaries, all this. So, but then they will look into whether it's feasible, to give permission for the development. It's subject to some drainage.
You nodded when I said that political interference. There is a problem.
There's a problem, and also people also doing a lot of illegal filling. So we are also
Are they doing that along with political patronage?
Sorry?
Are people doing illegal fillings because they are known to some politician, and so they feel that?
It is very difficult for me to comment on it because that goes because it's happening in either way.
Yeah.
So because now people also experience that, because now we will get because 30 millimeter rainfall is not a very big amount.
Faraz, excuse me, there is it's interesting question. The Tri-Forces, they were involved in this helping people, the flood affected.
Yeah.
There is a very important question, and they are saying, right, there are two big pumps at Technical Junction. Why they are not working for the last 20 years?
Yeah, actually those Technical Junction that is at the in between one of our main canal and also the Berry Lake. There is a log gate system to use for the navigational purposes in ancient times. So those pumps are to pump water to Berry Lake or to the link channel to get the water level up. But normally it acts as a dead end of the canal, because we normally maintain the water level of Berry at a higher level. So there's a permanent gate there. And what Ports Authority is maintaining those pumping stations.
But they are saying not working for 20 years.
Yes, we tried. We tried it during last flood events. We tried to operate it and see whether we can pump some water into Berry. We lower the water level of Berry, talking to Ports Authority, and tried to. But so what we have identified, it has to be repaired immediately, so we can use it as a short-term measure.
So that's 20
years. I was about to say 20 years. You can't go and try something out.
20 years means because that was not meant for the stormwater drainage. So, but we can use it as an alternative solution. The capacity of the pump is not so high, that is 3 meter cubes per second small pump, but so we can use it since we have something is meant to.
Who has to pay for the repair? The Ports Authority or yourselves?
Normally
or the water
it belongs to Ports Authority, since it's a national disaster, so the government can. So I think now they
so do you think that in all these years it hasn't been repaired because there's a difference of opinion between the Port Authority and yourselves and whoever else is concerned? Because everybody's passing on the buck and saying, here, it's not my problem, and then he says it's your problem, and you say it's not mine, and the result
People's
is
money, taxpayers' money, and 20, and you can't be. I mean, shouldn't the FCID inquire into this?
Well, they should, because the FCID have been looking into matters at Sri Lanka Ports Authority, and certain charges and certain people have been questioned.
But this.
I think in flood and drainage management, there should be a single authority who can coordinate with all the sectors involved in water.
Tushari,
water.
It's one more board, and it's one more bureaucratic nightmare to contend with. Isn't it better to have action? Why can't people get off
I
their
think you will be able to see action very soon, because just after the flooding...
Will it all be forgotten in a few weeks when the weather returns to
normally
normal?
It happens, but this time I think it will not be like this, because we have already taken some steps to take decisions. They have appoint a committee, so better you can get more about it.
Why don't you give these machines, to the Navy, I'm sure they will run it for next 100 years.
To find out the answer to that question, well posed by Bandula. We'll come right back after this short commercial break. Do stay tuned to Newsline.
Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukat.
Welcome back. Good morning again, and this is Newsline, and where we have Mr. A.M. Tushari, DGM at the Sri Lanka Land Reclamation Board. Bundler's question: why don't you hand these 2 pumps in town to the Navy? They'll run it for another 50 years.
Actually, of course, we have to repair and maintain a pumping station by some authority or somebody. But so when we experience some flooding in Colombo City, the operations has to be, the instructions for the operations has to be given by one
body.
Yes,
yeah.
Because otherwise we cannot integrate all these operations in time. So we have actually now all the foundation was laid for that.
But Tushar, you are basically saying there's too much of bureaucracy. Well, let's be honest, you're speaking free. That's what you're saying.
Actually, yes, and then the other thing is, how much of this is, when it's nice and sunny and hot and so on, people aren't, there's no sense of urgency.
Yes.
And the urgency only goes into turbocharged, super urgent mode when the rains fall unusually, and as it has done some days ago. How can you change that culture of non-urgency?
Actually, so we can use the recent event also, because we have to use all these events to
learn. Right.
Actually, we means the people, because now what I want to add more to about the low-lying areas, we call it as wetlands. So we can have presently we can have the 30% of the rainfall we get for Colombo City. 30% can be stored in those available wetlands.
Can I ask you, Shari? Some time ago, under the last government, they took over this facility. They took over the Water's Edge facility, saying that originally these were the areas where the golf course was put, was meant to be a trap for water. Now that has been done, how would you say that has helped the people of that area? And so on.
So it's difficult to differentiate, because it's a one system, drainage system.
Right.
So if
do you think it has helped, or it has made no difference?
Because it's water retention area, because earlier also there were some bottlenecks in for the water flow. So we want to widen those the outflow system. So, and also there's engineering terms, there's an effect, but it is not the best solution we can do, because the number one priority should to enhance the outflow capacity from the land area. We want to send more water to sea.
And sorry,
but there's a point where a doctor complained to us, Tushari, that where this Mohandiram Dabare Mouth, area when you go, there is a marshy land that's been filled. So have you heard about that? There is a problem, they say. One doctor complained.
There are a lot of comments,
that's
the plus
one
and
big
minus
area
things we
where
have done.
they say the last point where the water should flow to the sea. This is what this doctor was saying.
Not the last point, because just unto that there's a big marsh and the main canal. So that's why. So I think the megapolis plan will help us, because they have to make a master plan in the Colombo City. So there we can identify where the low-lying areas. We know that we can't 100% freeze all these low-lying areas, but there should be, we have to strike a balance there with keeping the water retention areas.
How many years will it take to strike a balance?
The master plan.
Yes.
Master plan, so got into the megapolis project.
How much are you aware, Tushari, how much of you and your colleagues and even the minister and so on, how much are you aware that no matter what you all do, there is somebody like Big Brother watching you. It's called the media. The media are watching you all.
Yes.
And now that we enjoy
more freedom,
admittedly more freedom, how much of that are you aware? When you all have meetings, they all say, if we don't do this, the media will get hold of it, and then, all hell will break
or will
loose.
Tushar be transferred somewhere?
Or will you be transferred to the water project in Kites?
Or the Ministry of Cultural Affairs? You never know, these things happen.
Or the T-board. How much of it are you aware? That, the media is very, very proactive.
Yes.
And is not those days we were more, because of circumstances, we were reactive, but now we're proactive and we're watching. So how much of it are you all aware that this is?
Yes, but the thing is that, so because we have done a lot of things, the planning work, but we didn't get any chance to say it to media. So because we have a very good master plan, stormwater drainage master plan, for the preserving of the wetlands as well. So we have a very good master plan with one pumping station and 2 underground tunnels to discharge water, because we had to go through underground tunnels because there are space restrictions to have an open channel there because the unplanned development.
But Tushar, I'm sure you can do better because you have a proactive chairman now,
Yes.
who got the ear of the president.
Yes.
He
and the
can,
minister
so
secretary.
he has come on our program once, so
Yeah.
I'm sure you could move things fast.
Because now the 2 tunnels, the tenders for 2 tunnels also next in 2 months' time, so we can flow the tenders.
How much of that? How much do you think you'll be spending on that?
Spending actually for the pumping station 3 billion estimated cost.
How much?
3 billion.
Billion.
Yes,
Billion, okay.
yes. That's why. So people
Rupees,
normally say rupees.
Yeah.
Now says put up a pumping station there, but we have to think about the cost benefit, capital cost as well as maintenance and operation also, and the effectiveness. And also for 2 tunnels, that's 35 billion.
Right. I'm going to leave you out of this next statement, but Bandula, do you know how much this whole flood thing is estimated at?
You're the numbers man.
I don't know. Somebody was telling me yesterday it was something like 120 million. Well,
$120 million.
I think he meant rupees. That sounds very low to me.
Yes,
Yeah.
the flood damage.
Yes. How much do you think?
Actually, I wondered how can they estimate these flood damage, because as far as I know, we have no proper database to calculate the damage. Maybe what they have spent to help the affected parties,
Yeah.
but the damage happened to each and every person. So went under water. So I think because we should develop that system as well, and under the Metro Colombo project. So now the
Tushar is very interesting. Maybe you have lots of fans around. Viewer is paying you a compliment and said that you have developed on computer models for forecasting.
yeah. Yes.
So somebody is saying that you have done
that's why in the
excellent
Metro
job. So-
Colombo urban development projects, so we have studied the system and we have developed this computer model for the entire system, including Kalani outfalls, sea outfalls. There we have to get the water levels of Kalani and the behavior of the sea, and also the percentage of
forecast all
wetland.
that.
We can forecast also, and also we have run this model and check the last rainfall event as well, so to check the model, and so we have that facility. And after that also we want to establish the real-time control system also for this. So once we develop Colombo, so we can use the same mechanism to the other cities.
Why only Colombo? What about Rambukkana? What about Batiklo or Kurunegala?
that's
What about
why.
other areas?
This is the first time we are doing
Kandy
this.
area.
No, once we get it done, so we can
Why
learn
only
some
Colombo?
lessons.
They've
no,
made
we
a
can
start.
use
Yeah.
They've made a
starts.
start.
Then we want to move it to first to Western Province, then to So because the other provinces as well.
How much is your budget? Do you know?
That is for the under Metro Colombo urban development projects, flood and drainage, $150 million for the entire improvements.
Right. Okay. So the point I was trying to make to you was that the former secretary to the president, the former president, had changed, is supposed, allegedly, that's the key word, is supposed to have changed or given his driver, or his friend's driver, because now the things are changing, to encash some checks.
This is, you're talking of the chief of staff?
Yes.
Not the secretary to the president?
The chief of staff, that's the one.
Yeah.
For 10% of the amount that Tushari's entire budget is. So this is a check encashed from the chief of staff. Well, that's the investigation. Isn't it amazing? One individual is cashing 10% of the entire budget of the land reclamation people. That is to put it in context as to the level of utterly poor fiscal management that's going on.
So
in
how
our
could
country.
they recover this money for us?
I really don't
saw
know.
that Garmin Israel has been questioned by the FCID yesterday.
Yes, no, I was speaking to a senior police officer who obviously can't be on the program because there are restrictions. However, he told me of an incident which they had come across of some supplier of food to President's house under President Rajapaksa. Apparently, if they had ordered 50 meals for a particular event, just 50, they'd receive an invoice for 1,500 meals. So what the police officer says is, how on earth do you want me to approach this? Shall I find all the 1,500 people who came to eat that day and record statements from all of them and then investigate all that? Or do I just say, well, you know, that's one thing, but there are more important things. So it's a matter of priority.
Bogalagamas, cakes in Washington, all these, lots of expenses.
It costs people, the country, money. So, Tushari, back to you after that slight digression. How confident are you that this time next year we won't be facing the same problem?
Actually, so according to our plans, we can get all these improvements completed.
Yeah.
So we need another 2.5 years for a construction of a pumping station. It needs 2 years minimum, and also for the tunnels. So we'll see. So according to our analysis and the judgment, so we can make the Colombo city, we can't say flood free because that depends on the rainfall and the climate change we get, and also the land use pattern.
And something called an act of God. We have to remember that.
And also because so we can't maintain the flood safety level of Colombo city at a very high level. So if
what troubles me, Tushar, if you don't mind me saying so, is that a master plan is just coming after so many deaths and billions of damage.
Actually, earlier there was we were, because we developed the system in 1990s with these all illegal filling and also encroaching the canals and putting solid waste into the canal.
Well, Tushari, good luck, and we shall be watching what your department is doing.
Yes.
Thank you for being on Newsline. We appreciate your presence. And Bandra, thank you too. And I thought that given the poor behavior of the Eastern Province Chief Minister, we can say ego has a voracious appetite. The more you feed it, the more hungry it gets. On that note, thanks for having watched Newsline. Do stay tuned, same time, same place, as always. Take care, have a great day, God bless.
Newsfirst, Newsline with Faraz Shaukut Ali.